Welcome guys to the first episode of our school's podcast, Humans of UWC Mostar. My name is Andjela and I'm going to be one of today's hosts. With me, I have a special guest.
My name is Runi and I'm here today to tell you about summer programs you can attend as a firstie.
Yeah. Two of the programs that I have attended are YYGS, which is Yale Young Global Scholars, and U Chicago Emerging World Leaders.
I've attended only one, sadly, which is Yale Young Global Scholars in a different segment than Andjela, so we have a little
things
bit
to discuss and help you about the application process. Also, we're going to tell you how our experience was, and of course, later on we will leave our contact so you can contact us about any further questions. So, Runi, tell me, how was your application process? Did you apply early or regular decision, and do you think that has the impact on life?
Honestly, I did not find out about Yale Young Global Scholars until early decision was over. So I was a little hesitant to apply and a little scared because I've heard from second years that it was just really hard to get into with a regular decision, but I tried my luck. It was a really long process where I got a little piece of what it means to write a uni application, because it's very similar to writing an application for a university. And somehow I fought through it, and eventually I applied to both U Chicago and Yale Young Global Scholars. In the end, I got into Yale Young Global Scholars, and I'm really happy about it.
That's so nice. For me personally, I found out about YYGS before I came to UWC, because I feel like I had some connections and some workshops with American Corner in Montenegro, and they kind of introduced me to the program. So I was looking forward to actually applying to it. When you heard what was the kind of acceptance rate, because I think it's around from 11% to 13%, how did you feel?
Honestly, now that I think back to it, genuinely acceptance rate is not, in my opinion, an important factor here, because when I applied to both of their summer camps, everyone was like, U Chicago is so much easier to get in, and U Chicago is you have a better chance at U Chicago than Yale. And then the decision for U Chicago came out a few days earlier, prior to my decision for Yale, and I got rejected from U Chicago. So I was really unmotivated and thought that I would also get rejected from Yale. But then I found out that I got accepted, and that kind of showed me that, in a sense, maybe some summer programs look at your qualities in one way, meanwhile the others see it as a benefit for you. And so I don't think acceptance rate is that important here. You guys should just be honest when writing your applications and really try your best, because there's always a chance.
Can you tell me more about your applications process specifically? For our audience to know, for example, what should you include in your application, or what application asks for? And for example, what was the most intimidating part for you, or most challenging part?
Most challenging part was definitely writing my essays. So in the application process, you have a few essays that you have to write. I believe it was 4.
Yeah.
And so there's this one main essay where you had to answer to a prompt, but it's like a personal statement of yours. It's something it's a life moment that's very important to you, something that you truly shows the admissions office for the summer program and university in general, who you are as a person. So it was really tricky for me to figure out what to actually write about. But then I remembered that in my theater class, we also had a similar task where we talked about a personal story of ours that was important to us. And so I decided to write about that, because I felt like that story in itself not only showed part of my identity, who I am, but also showed how I react in certain situations, and it was also a story where I learned a lot. Other than that, I was a little hesitant about the academics because they weren't the best at the time, but I was very happy to see that they accepted me with a fairly pretty average and okay IB score. What else? Yeah, the Duolingo test, that was a really, that was a big pain. It was something that I had to do a little earlier than others for that are applying to university. Basically, it's an English proficiency test, so there was a lot of complications on when to do it, how to do it, and I had to do it really fast because I found out about the program very late. And yeah. In general, it's a big learning. It's a big stepping stone towards your university applying future, and it's a big learning curve.
I would absolutely agree with you in the sense of like that academics don't have to be perfect for you to get accepted. Also because it's kind of like the summer program, they are giving you different opportunities, and they're kind of giving you the taste of what university feels like. But also what I would say is like for me also personally, essays might have been the most challenging part, because as you said, you really have to be unique, or just like part of yourself that maybe you don't talk about that often, or just like some kind of the anecdote that happened in your life. And it might sound very cliche, but that's somehow what gets you in, because everybody has different experiences, everybody been through something different, and when you express it in the right way, then they can feel like your personality, or like what kind of a person you are, and then they definitely say something very interesting about you, and most of the time then you will really get accepted if you really know how to express yourself. So when you came to the program is like 2 weeks, as we said. How long was the application process for you? How long it took you to like write the whole application?
Honestly, I had about 5 days left until the deadline, and so I was cramming every day. I was cramming every day, writing and rewriting and thinking through it. Now that I think about it, I thought too much about it because I was so scared of what they're gonna think when they read my essays. But when I came to the program, it was a way different story. It's a very nice and relatively relaxing atmosphere there. Okay, yes, you do go to lectures during summer, but then at the same time you're meeting so many people, and it's like a little UWC experience in my opinion.
Was it what you expected?
Kinda, yeah. I'm not sure. Like I didn't really have I didn't really have a picture painted in my head on what this program might be. Yes, I did anticipate a lot of academic stuff, and which we did do. There's a lot of lectures. There's a project that you have to do. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But in terms of the people I met there, genuinely I did think it would be like a little UWC experience where you meet so many new people from different backgrounds that you aren't even able to meet here, and it's a very beautiful thing where it's sad that you only see those people for the 2 weeks, but from my personal experience, I've had a very good friendship formed, and a person who I'm still talking to till this day from the summer camp.
That's so nice. How did it feel when you, for example, I'm pretty sure, as for me, also like on TikTok, on Instagram, or like through the movies, you saw Yale campus. How was it like seeing it there for the first time?
When I got there, I was like, because I'm a really big Harry Potter fan, and I was like, oh my god, I'm here. This is it. This is where I want to be. This is my life from now on. I want to live on this campus. It's so beautiful. Yeah. Like genuinely, the architecture at Yale in New Haven is so beautiful. Everywhere you go, it's like castles. It looks like Gothic type buildings, and it's very inspiring actually. What I found myself doing a lot is just wandering through the streets, even when I had like free or studying in the libraries, because their libraries are so beautiful. I wrote most of my IAs there, a part of my EE. you get into the library and there's so many old and aesthetic
Yeah.
books around you, and there's like very nice places for you to sit, and there's so many people working, and it's just that atmosphere where you feel so motivated
Yeah.
to work and to enjoy stuff. I've seen so many people. A lot of people told me they started going to the gym there for some reason.
Yeah.
Just because they, I don't know, they felt motivated to do something.
Yeah. What I found most interesting about like the whole residential thing, I mean, like for the context, our residencies were, for example, I was in Jonathan Edwards, very yeah,
Jonathan
yeah,
Edwards, yeah.
and they were pretty close, but they obviously have like different residencies to the whole town, and the entire campus is kind of like embedded in town, and even the like regular restaurants or like shops or everything, it kind of has like its own Yale logo inside of
Yeah.
it, and people are very nice.
Yeah, everywhere you go, it's Yale.
Yeah,
Yale.
exactly.
Yale.
And their mascot, which is very interesting, but I had the toy, but I didn't bring it.
Did you
It's
meet
like-
the mascot?
Yeah,
I didn't. Sad.
no, because for, I'm gonna come to that like towards the end, but like I was part of like the media team, so we kind of filmed the content and those kind of different things, and we also met the mascot. It was very nice, but also what we kind of found out is that they had different mascots. It's not the same dog.
What?
Yeah, it's not the same dog. And his name is not Handsome Dan. It's like Kingston.
Kingston.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
You find
that's
something
a
new every
big
day.
shocker.
Yeah,
I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this.
exactly. You
Yeah.
find something new every day. Okay, so I think like we should talk more about like academic stuff
Mhm.
because the entire program is kind of divided into lectures, seminars, capstone.
Mhm.
Correct me if I missed something. I think we were in the same IST.
Yes.
Yeah.
Innovations in science and technology. Other than that, we have literature, philosophy, and economics. Which is that the one that's getting?
I think like literature, philosophy, and culture doesn't exist this year.
Yeah. Okay. So literature, philosophy, and culture does not exist from this year.
Yeah.
There was solving global challenges.
Yeah. That was also pretty interesting for the people who attended. And I think we had like, we also had politics, economics, and law. I think that was the other segment, but we were the same, but we didn't. I was on the capstone of medicine and you were in
I was on biology. Sadly, I did not want biology, but so you get to choose. So the way it works is there are almost every day there's a seminar that all of the people within your how do we say it, route path
Yeah.
that you chose on your like IST, for example, innovations in science and technology. Everyone from that field would go to a seminar where they would all watch. They would have a lecture. But other than that, you had the opportunity to choose your own individual classes. So it was free classes, and you would have two sessions per class, where it would be really nuanced to what you genuinely like. The big seminars where everyone was there were mostly like more general things, and it was held by real professors from Yale and from other universities. Meanwhile, the nuanced classes we had that we chose ourselves were mostly students of Yale, students of we had UCLA,
Yeah. Minerva University.
Minerva. I think it's
Yeah.
very important if you do get into choose what you like. From my free classes, I did not like one of them, just because it felt a little, I don't know. It wasn't what I expected. But other than that, the rest of them were really good.
Exactly. For me, I kind of like, it was a different, I mean, we had like the same process, but it was like first comes like first serve in that sense, because for example, I feel the seminars for like very last day, so I didn't really get all of my first choices. But other than that, I think it was very interesting because they kind of wanted to have like interdisciplinary kind of topics in the same program. And also we had like all of the lectures together and everything. But like besides those kind of academic stuff, we also had like different kind of workshops or also like recreational activities. Also kind of like the clubs, because I don't know for you, because we had like kind of book club and those kind of things, so you could meet like Yale students. And most of the seminars and the lectures For my session, we're also held by Yale professors and some scientists that work there, or also they kind of have like their PhDs or those kind of stuff. So I think it was very beneficial because I think you two and like everybody who attended, they can confirm that we also kind of have their emails and that we can text them if we need something, and they were very approachable in the sense that we can ask them questions and everything. So for me it was very, very beneficial.
Yeah, I agree definitely that they were very, very easy to talk to people and very helpful people, because on my last last lecture class that I took, I approached this girl who was lecturing us. She's a student at Minerva, and I talked to her about computer science because she's a computer science major, and she really like offered to help me out if I need in advance, like if I need help with applying to universities, if I need help with choosing what field I exactly want to study in, because I was talking to her how I'm unsure about what field of computer science I'd really like to go in. And so she was like, if you need any information, please talk to me, you can email me. And she was also giving me like real time her opinion on what she believes is a good fit for me based on what we've done in the class.
Yeah. What I would also say, we had like admissions, also kind of like the workshop, which was very nice because it kind of gets you through like the whole application process for not just Yale but also like in general for universities. So it was very nice. Other than that, I would say that we should maybe discuss the thing that most of the people would ask us. It's like financial aid, because obviously it's very expensive, to be honest. It's like, for example, when you travel through the Balkans, I think the program itself is around $7,000,
yes,
and then included like travel and other things. I would say it's close to 10,000 or something like that, including everything, very much everything. So how was it? Because I know that the last year they kind of gave you like to pay 2,000 and then you had to text them.
So when I got in, it was very early in the morning. My roommate was still sleeping, and he knew from the night before that I would get my decision. And I told him, if I start screaming in the room, you'll know that I got in. And so when I opened the decision, it was just like confetti everywhere, and I was like, oh my god! And I just started screaming and jumping around, and he like woke up, oh my god, Runi, you got in. And then we took a closer look, and it said that I had to pay $2,000 in tuition. Coming from a Bosnian family, a family in Bosnia, I'm not able to, and I do not want to pay $2,000 for a 14-day summer camp. And so that day was a really chaotic day because I felt like I got in, they want me there, but then at the same time, like I don't want to pay this. And so I reached out to them, sending them all of my, all my financial aid documents, so my parents' paychecks, the household income in general, bank statements, and I wrote to them that I'm really unable to pay, and like you are able to use. I used the example that in Bosnia the average salary is way under the $2,000 threshold. And they replied to me very quickly in about 2-3 hours, and they said, we're really sorry to hear this. We have found additional funds for you, and they raised it to only $50 for me to pay, which is nothing, and then I paid $50. And then after that, the ticket and everything was a little pricey, but I think it's honestly worth it if you are able to explore a little. Like, I got to see a lot of New York. I was there for about 10 days, and it was really beautiful, and it's honestly like money well spent.
Yeah. For me, okay, this is like, I don't know how that happened, but for example, I applied earlier, unlike you, and no, I mean like, yeah, you didn't see the deadline. The thing is, for me, they do give full scholarships because I did receive full scholarship, and they also paid for my travel, so I did not spend anything in that sense. and that was very nice. But also I think like it's the way that, for example, you approach them, because when I was writing kind of my financial aid document, that I was like, do you think it's very fair to pay for everything, obviously including like household incomes and like general salary in the Balkans? And also very much like, because we don't want to use that kind of opportunity if like the paying is the only obstacle. So I think if you become more like persuasive, or for example, just like you, if you just sit and reconsider your decision, then I think they're just gonna help you in that sense. I'm just gonna talk briefly about U Chicago summer program because it's much shorter. It's like 1 week, unlike YYGS, and it was a very much different concept, I would say. For U Chicago Emerging World Leaders, it's like I think it was like 75 of us in the cohort, but it was also not very academic. We had different kind of things. We also had like different science workshops, and we had like leadership workshops and those kind of things. Also like poetry, prose, and those like in general books. And we had like, I would say 3 to 4 maybe lectures a day, and we kind of were divided into residencies because like one place was for people who are over 18 or 18, and the other one was like for minors, obviously. So in my place it was just like 10 of us or 11 of us. And what I found really interesting about U Chicago summer program, it was mostly all UWC students, because fun fact is, well, it was made for UWC students because we never get a chance to meet people from other UWCs. So I found that really fun. But other than that, I would also say it was much more touristic in the sense, because nothing was really mandatory, to be honest. So we kind of like went after classes to downtown, so to Chicago, and that was very interesting. And then we had lectures, we hung out during the night, we met admissions officer for U Chicago. They held some of the lectures, so that was very beneficial. We also went through like personal statement examples, and we kind of assessed the Common App applications, so that was fun. And other than that, it was very similar to YYGS. And financial aspect of it, they also paid everything for me. Yeah. So
she's a pro.
Yeah, I was a pro for getting financial aid, guys. In general, do you have any advice for people applying to summer programs?
Honestly, like, it's a very, I think, common answer, but common advice. But just be yourself when writing about it, because I think if you try to fake it and to present yourself as this person who did that and this, and try to like, oh, I learned this from that, I think they'll figure it out. Because it just, I don't know, I feel like they know everything.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I think the thing that really helped me out was just being genuine and honest in my essays, and showing that these errors that I made and these problems that I had to solve to overcome my situation taught me a lot and showed me the importance of things that I did not consider so important in life. Other than that, I think be creative, vary with your essays. I remember what I did is I really tried to connect with my culture in some of the essays. Like, they asked about a hobby I would like to do, and I talked about playing the banjo, because my uncle plays the banjo, and he always makes fun of me for not knowing to play banjo, because it's a very cultural thing for us in Syria. And so I said I play guitar, but I really want to play banjo. And so yeah, just try to be honest, creative, and your true self.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, because I think most of the people have the feeling that they should suit the application to like admissions officers so they like them, but that's not actually the case, because they want to read something new. And I think like most of the time, usually when you are applying to those kind of summer programs, not just to put it on your CV or just like to show that you were accepting in like selective program, but like you should maybe just like research about it. You should kind of want it, and you should have the reason why you want to go there. And for me personally, I feel like my advice would also be kind of connected with the essays, because most of the time, I think that you can write about things that you didn't think about before. For example, like one very unique past experience or like situation that you learned something from, because as I said previously, we don't have same experiences. We don't come from the same, for example, like towns. We didn't go to the same schools. We have different families, obviously. So you learn something from every activity that you do, or like from every hobby and everything. So my advice would be like to reflect on everything that you've done so far, and I'm pretty sure that you can just like include some of your experiences in your application and make something unique out of it.
Definitely, I think like what you said really like it really clicked into my mind that people are really trying to suit themselves towards an admission officer, when in reality, when an admission officer gets your paper or opens your document, they're trying to find out who you are. And if you are something that they've seen so many times before, because a lot of people try to suit themselves, then they're not going to accept you. It doesn't make sense. But if you show that you're a genuine person who is admitting to not being a perfect person also, then there's a bigger chance, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. And most of the time in the applications, they ask about obviously recreational activities outside of the school, hobbies. Also, they want to know about your personality. So I think like when you're applying to universities or like applying to summer programs in general, that you should just like ask yourself a question like, what do you do outside of like academic achievements or like outside of going to school? Because like not everything is included in school, and that's something that you should reflect in your application.
Definitely. Yeah. I think one thing I didn't take, but I wish I took, like for the big essay, it doesn't really have to be also just an emotional moment from your life. It can also be something that you're so interested in and in love with. Like I've read one where a person just talks about a full-on essay, just talking about how much they love problem solving. And it's so interesting to me because it's such a good essay, because you see their love and desire for that.
They love the passion.
Yeah, the passion.
Yeah, exactly. I think that you were very passionate about this podcast.
Yes.
And that's the reason I think why you should subscribe to our YouTube channel, also our TikTok, Instagram, and if you have any questions, you can text me and Runi on like Instagram. I don't know, you can message us on emails.
Yes, available 24/7, just for you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast.
Bye-bye.
Bye.